Actress Sophia Novent, who plays a race-swapped Princess Disa in the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, and is one of the most vocal actresses on the show to claim that she is a victim of racism, despite claiming that she is taking control of the series and bringing this is the new Tolkien that she has created, and then got a bunch of fan pushback from that and has gone on to claim that she is now a victim of racism. But she did give us an update on the second season. She claims that evil is going to be rising. The show is in itself, I think, objectively evil. Has a lot of immoral, terrible messaging in it, at least from the first season. So I'm not really sure what more evil can be done in the second season, but I'm assuming she's probably going to be referring to the rise of Sauron. This is what she had to say. Speaking with Deadline, she first summarized the first season, saying, Season 1 was a time of relative peace, an introductory time meeting everybody. I'm not really sure if that's true. Feels like there was quite a bit of chaos, war, maybe even some famine happening in that time. So I wouldn't really describe it as a time of relative peace. Nevertheless, she went on and said, Season 2 is the unraveling of it all. It's when the force of evil really starts to put pressure on Middle Earth, and we watch how everyone that we know and hopefully love handles that situation. She went on to add, the stakes are higher. We see what the force of evil does to each race and to each relationship. There's so much more action. We weather the storms, and there's a real sense of confidence in who and what we are. I'm really excited about it. So, I mean, I get really who knows what this show is going to cover in the second season, given the fact that the entire first season eschewed anything that Tolkien wrote about the Second Age in it, specifically the stories about Sauron, the Númenóreans, and the elves. In fact, Bernard Hill, who plays King Theoden in Peter Jackson's film, sniffed out the series would not follow Tolkien's lore, made it clear he had no intention of watching the show. He said, it's a money-making venture, and I'm not interested in watching that or being in it. Good luck to them and all that stuff, but it's not like the real thing, because it's not. It's absolutely not the real thing. Bernard Hill even recognizes that. But if they were going to adapt it, one would think that we would see Sauron maybe attacking the elves in the region, maybe Elrond trying to push back, Celebrimbor getting killed, something like that. That might be something that we might see if they were actually going to adapt Tolkien's actual stories from the Silmarillion. But again, as I said, who really knows what we're going to see? We did get a little bit of information from showrunner Patrick McKay. He said, I guess JD Payne gave us some information here early before him. He said season 1 opens with who is Galadriel? Where did she come from? What did she suffer? Why is she driven? We're doing the same thing with Sauron in season 2. We'll fill in all of the missing pieces. And then Patrick McKay said Sauron can now just be Sauron, like Tony Soprano or Walter White. He's evil, but complexly evil. We felt like if we did that in season 1, he'd overshadow everything else. So the first season is like Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight is the next movie with Sauron maneuvering out in the open. Again, the first season should have had him maneuvering out in the open, but he should have been as Anatar, the giver of gifts, obviously in a different form, but he was still out in the open maneuvering. He was just had this fair form and was deceiving the elves, selling them sweet lies about rebuilding Middle Earth after the First Age and the destruction that the wars in that age caused. But now he should actually be in a more terrifying form where he's actually waging war on the elves, specifically in Eregion, and going after Celebrimbor, Elrond, and Gil-galad, and leading to the arrival of the Númenóreans that basically show up in this like massive army. And Sauron, realizing his forces have fled from him and he's going to basically just get trounced, he surrenders and then plays the guise of basically a kind of Rasputin type character where he sells himself as a prisoner and then starts selling sweet lies to the Númenórean king. And begins corrupting Númenor from the inside. And obviously that would be more maybe a season 3 story. But season 2 should be, I would think, a or the war against the elves. But I doubt we'll actually get to see that because again, these people aren't telling the story that Tolkien actually wrote.